So why don't we start with Gabe and then go to Amber Rose. So Bob Kaufman, the jail poems. While you're answering, Gabe, about why you might agree with Nicole that this is the real deal, I'm going to go to the text and maybe we'll pick out one passage or one section to talk about it. Gabe, you want to kick it off, please?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about it, excuse me, while we were doing introductions and stuff. And the passage that I think you might actually just go to on your own, but the passage I was thinking about was section 7.
Someone who I am is no one. Something I have done is nothing. Some place I have been is nowhere. I am not me. What of the answers I must find questions for? All these strange streets I must find cities for. Thank God for beatniks. That kicks ass, doesn't it? All right, why, Gabe?
The reason I went there is I was thinking about like the scene of this poem, which is being written in a cell, and we don't have section 1 here, but in section 1, the scene is set more literally saying, I'm in a cell, I'm hearing this, I'm seeing that. And there's a way in which I think Kaufman is kind of imagining himself like merged with the people around him, becoming the someone that's next to him, becoming the someone in the cell next to him. And here it's saying, I'm someone who's like me, or someone who is me, is nobody. And so I feel like there's a nice empathy with people who are totally just disregarded, this sort of social nobody that he is with, that he's linked up to, not just in the space, but in his politics.
Okay, 19. Sitting here writing things on paper instead of sticking the pencil into the air. Caught in imaginary webs of conscience, I weep over my acts, yet believe. So thinking about what you were saying, Al, about this like postmodern moment or the dispersal of the I, the subject, I think that's what is so interesting about 19. The choice between writing things down on paper and writing things in the air seem to be equally available options, and that it's just a decision to write on paper, not necessarily that it's more logical or more productive to write things on paper. I thought was interesting. But in terms of the real deal, I think that the tension that's in I weep over my acts yet believe is so kind beautiful. Is so keyed into, I very rarely think that there are like human experiences that everyone has, but that tension of doing what you don't want to do and yet having faith in something anyway is extraordinarily human, and I think is the tension that we have to continue to hold on to have any sense of hope for this crumbling world.
Yeah, that's so well put. Before we go to the phone, I just want to ask Joe Massey to react to 22. Caught in imaginary webs of conscience, I weep over my acts, yet believe.
Yeah, the imaginary webs of conscience are interesting to me. I think Kaufman, if I'm not mistaken, was interested in Buddhism, and the imaginary acts of consciousness could just be the world itself. I weep over my acts, yet believe. That whatever action, it's just a rejection of any kind of guilt, of just accepting the present.